This is John Southurst for CoinGeek Backstage at the London Blockchain Conference. We just watched a very excellent presentation by Peter Schiff on the main stage. Now, Peter, I would say I've been in Bitcoin about over 10 years now, and a lot of us who got in there in those early years, we came here because of opinions like yours. We had listened to you, we'd read your articles, we'd heard about sound money, we'd studied Austrian economics. And yeah, it got a little bit disappointing in the years since then. What went wrong? Did Bitcoin change, or was it never what we thought it was?
No, it wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah.
I think when I first looked at it 12 years ago, whenever it was, and I decided not to get involved, my decision, I think, was correct based on the flawed concept. I didn't think it could succeed as money. And I think I was right. It still hasn't succeeded as money. What I missed was the bubble potential, was the fact that so many other people wouldn't recognize what I did and they would buy it anyway. And I remember my concerns early on when I heard about it. I said, well, what's to prevent somebody else from coming up with another token and putting that on the blockchain? And now there's more than 20,000 of them, right? And so I was worried about all these other tokens, and it turns out that didn't matter because there was so much demand that there was room for 20,000 or whatever tokens. So I just did not see the world, getting involved. Now I knew that inflation was going to be a problem, and that they would be able to use that to kind of hype up Bitcoin. But yeah, it's one of those things where I could have early on, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I could have put a substantial amount of money into it, and obviously, made billion or more, had I got out, and of course, it's hard to know what I would have done had I actually bought it back then. Would I have sold it at 100, at 500, at 1,000, who knows? Because I didn't have it, and so it's easy to say, yeah, I would have hodled it all the way up to 60. I don't know what I would have done because I wasn't actually in that situation real time. I know I've met a lot of people who got in and who've made hundreds of millions of dollars because that they got into it. But some of them might have got into it just because of a gamble. They may not have believed in it, but they might have just, look, I want to gamble on the potential that greater fools are going to buy it. But I think there were some people that probably legitimately believed it would succeed. I think they're wrong, but I think a crash is coming. Even though we've had many crashes in Bitcoin along the way, we haven't had the crash. Yeah. It hasn't completely collapsed. Some air comes out of the bubble and then more air comes in. But it's looking to me like the peak that we saw in 2021, around 70,000, close to it, that may be it. And that we're just forming a massive top right now. And that eventually the bottom is going to drop out and the thing is going to implode.
Yeah, I think we've been waiting for that almost as long as we've been waiting for the, the bad monetary policy hyperinflation event. It's one of those things, it's coming, but it just never seems to materialize. Do people who invest in BTC, as we call it, do they really understand it at all?
Well, I think most people don't. You see some influencer on Instagram and they're touting some shitcoin, and whether it's even BTC, people are buying it because it's kind of the thing. It's like a fad. Why did people stuff phone booths? A lot of people don't even know what a phone booth is, let alone the fact that people used to stuff themselves into them, because it was just a fad. People were doing it, so people are buying crypto. They talk about crypto now like it's this thing, crypto. Like, oh, I got to get in on crypto. Like, who the hell? What is it? But it's what everybody is doing to get rich, and if you want to get rich, you got to do it too, right? And so you have that, psychology, that mass hysteria, but it's going to pass, just like every other fad. And what will happen is, of course, as more people lose money, then you have a different narrative. Because right now, it's still about the people that got rich in crypto. But over time, it's going to be more about the people that went broke in crypto. And when the stories about people going broke are more prominent than the ones about the people who got rich, you have a totally different situation.
Yeah, well, I do understand something about going broke in crypto.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Bitcoin 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.